Once upon a time, Katy Perry was the unstoppable pop queen with chart-topping hits and jaw-dropping performances. Now, she's trending for all the wrong reasons. She's touring the world, but behind the scenes, she's facing a painful separation, online backlash, and the kind of public ridicule no A-lister wants. So how did one of the most celebrated pop stars of the 2010s end up here? Is this a well-earned reckoning, or is Katy just the latest victim of cancel culture? Today, we're breaking down the brutal downfall of Katy Perry, piece by piece. Katy Perry has shared in interviews how she grew up in a religious Christian household, and that music became her escape. At first, she sang gospels, even launching a Christian record under her real name, Katy Hudson. The songs explored themes of childhood, adolescence, and faith. But the album only sold around 200 copies, and the label went bankrupt right after its release. But Katy didn't give up. She moved to Las Vegas when she was 17 and caught attention of music producer Glenn Ballard, and the rest is history. By 2008, the world met Katy Perry. Not the preacher's daughter, but the candy-coated, controversy-courting pop provocateur. Her breakout hit, I Kissed a Girl, produced by Dr.Luke, was catchy, defiant, and wildly successful. She was everywhere on charts, on stages, and in headlines. With each new hit, her music moved further and further from the girl who once sang gospel. She didn't just change her sound, she built an entirely new persona. A pop star fantasy that sparkled on the outside, but slowly silenced the real her underneath. In interviews, Katy later confessed that she spent over 5 years in therapy trying to cope with the mental breakdown that came from living a lie. She built a character the world adored, but Catherine, the real woman behind the glitter, was suffocating. At one point, she even chopped off her signature hair, not for fashion, but because she couldn't stand looking like Katy Perry anymore. To the outside world, it looked like a quirky reinvention, but behind the scenes, it was a scream for help. And while she wrestled with a full-blown identity crisis, her personal life offered no relief. Enter Orlando Bloom, her partner of 7 years, and father of her child. But based on what he said publicly about Katy, he may have never truly seen her. It all started in January 2016 at a Golden Globes afterparty, over an In-N-Out burger, of all things. In Katy's own words, Orlando stole an In-N-Out burger off her plate. Katy told him he could have it because he was hot. By February, Orlando had already introduced Katy to his son with Miranda Kerr. Paparazzi and magazine sources were buzzing about how serious they were. By May 2016, the couple went Instagram official after attending the Cannes Film Festival, but behind the scenes, the whispers had already started. Here's what most people seem to have forgotten. Just 1 month earlier, Selena Gomez was back in the mix. Back in April 2016, a source claimed Selena and Orlando were hooking up, again. These two had a messy history dating back to 2014, including late-night street sightings and airport stalking moments. And let's not forget the infamous fight between Orlando and Justin Bieber over rumors involving Miranda Kerr and Selena. Then, on May 2016, photos of Orlando and Selena getting very cozy at her Revival Tour after-party leaked. TMZ described it as neck-nuzzling. Just 9 days later, Katy posts a romantic tweet about growing old with Orlando and goes public with their relationship on Instagram. The timing of it all seemed very suspicious. But the scandal with Selena Gomez was just the tip of the messy iceberg. Katy and Orlando have been throwing petty jabs at each other in public since the start of their relationship. From shady interviews to subtle social media digs, they hung their dirty laundry for all to see. According to an interview, Orlando told Katy that they could pull the poison out of each other. Katy described their relationship as exhausting and a never-ending cleanse. In an interview with The Times, Orlando revealed that surfer Laird Hamilton convinced him to be celibate for a long stretch before he met Katy, and apparently, that vow of chastity seriously messed with their chemistry. On Call Her Daddy podcast, Katy admitted it created major friction early in their relationship, so much so that they broke up in 2017. But the couple reunited again later that year. Katy went on James Corden's show in 2017 and played Spill Your Guts or Fill Your Guts. When asked to rank her lovers, she straight up said Orlando was not number one. That title went to John Mayer. Orlando clapped back in 2021 during a Guardian interview when asked who his best kiss was, and instead of naming Katy, who he was with at the time, he said it was some girl named Debbie from when he was 17. Katy's past behavior hasn't exactly helped her image either. There's this viral TikTok where Katy was eyeing a guy from the Chainsmokers, and he is just not having it. She even looked disappointed when Orlando got a hug instead of her. The secondhand embarrassment was too real. From grabbing Justin Bieber's behind on the red carpet to making awkward, flirty comments to much younger contestants on American Idol, she's been called out more than once for crossing the line. And let's not forget the infamous moment she openly eyed Shawn Mendes during an interview. It sparked serious backlash online, with many calling her behavior uncomfortable and inappropriate. While some brushed it off as playful, others saw a pattern that just doesn't sit right anymore in today's climate. Now fast forward to her interview on Call Her Daddy podcast, she said Orlando is so healthy and wants her to be healthy too. She admitted it can be very annoying. In that same interview, Katy also said some things that made everyone wonder if Orlando was pulling his weight around the house or just slacking. Katy shared that her love language is acts of service, and if Orlando does the dishes, she rewards him with bedroom favors. She said, "If I come downstairs and the kitchen is clean, you better be ready to get your socks rocked." She even talked about going on a couples retreat where they asked, who has more sex, the guy with the red Ferrari or the guy who does the dishes? And Katy answered, "In the kitchen, always." Katy also posted a pic in May 2024 dragging Orlando for being a total mess. The photo showed his socks crumpled on a coat hanger. The caption read, "Honey, check slide N. Please put your socks away in the right place for once. Then I'll be impressed." Even back in 2022, she called him out on air for leaving dental floss around the house, on her side of the bed, in the car, even on the kitchen table. And this didn't sound like just playful roasting. It seemed like she was oversharing their private life. In an interview in 2023 with Flaunt magazine, Orlando described their relationship as really challenging. That's 3 reallys, but it wasn't just their messy relationship that had fans scratching their heads. Some of their public moves sparked serious backlash too. First up, the royal mess. Katy Perry has long been friendly with the British royals, even performing at King Charles III's coronation concert. And back in 2012, she famously called Prince Harry a hot ginger. Fast forward a few years, and she and Orlando were reportedly besties with Meghan and Harry, even calling each other the best neighbors after moving into the same Santa Barbara neighborhood. So fans were baffled when Orlando agreed to voice Prince Harry in the satirical HBO series The Prince, a show that didn't exactly portray the royals in the most flattering light. And word is, it was Katy who pushed him to take the role. Then came the real estate scandal. In 2021, Katy and Orlando faced serious heat after being accused of trying to evict 83-year-old veteran Carl Westcott from his home. Carl had just undergone major surgery and was reportedly battling Huntington's disease when he allegedly signed over his estate while mentally impaired. According to court documents, the couple didn't even plan to move in, they intended to rent it out. The public wasn't having it. Social media exploded with criticism, slamming the pair for being cold, greedy, and opportunistic. Things spiraled so far out of control that a new bill, literally called the Katy Perry Act, was proposed to protect elderly homeowners from being pressured into shady real estate deals. The law would require a 72-hour cooling-off period before a sale could be finalized. And if you thought that was the only time Katy found herself tangled in a real estate scandal, think again. In 2015, she went head-to-head with a group of nuns who refused to vacate their historic Los Angeles convent, which Katy was trying to buy. Orlando Bloom also had to testify. The legal battle dragged on, and in 2016, the court ultimately ruled in her favor. But the drama took a dark turn when Sister Catherine Rose Holtzman, one of the nuns fighting the sale, suddenly collapsed and died during a court appearance. The public, once again, was calling them out on their shocking behavior. Putting their private drama on full display and getting tangled in legal controversies didn't exactly do their image or their relationship any favors. Underneath it all, their differences ran much deeper. For starters, there was a major imbalance in their net worth. Katy's fortune continued to climb, while Orlando's earnings dwarfed in comparison. Those close to the couple reported it made Orlando feel small. Then there was the clash of personalities. Katy has always been the bold, high-energy, larger-than-life type, while Orlando comes off way more laid-back and reserved. That dynamic might work for some couples, but in their case, it only seemed to highlight the cracks. When Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom first got together, they were both riding high on the wave of superstardom. But as time went on, cracks started to show, not just in their relationship, but in their careers too. By the time rumors of a split began swirling, both stars were visibly struggling to stay relevant. Katy tried to reignite her pop career with the release of her album 143, but the attempt at a pop comeback didn't exactly go as planned. Instead of making headlines, the album stirred controversy, starting with who was behind it. The project was co-written and produced by Dr.Luke, a figure who's been at the center of essay allegations made by fellow artist Kesha. The decision to work with him sparked major backlash. Fans and critics alike slammed the collaboration as tone-deaf, especially given the album's supposed themes of female empowerment. Many questioned how empowering a message could be when it's tied to such a controversial producer. Critics called it dated, generic, and lacking the signature sparkle that once made Katy Perry a pop powerhouse. In a landscape already dominated by fresh and chart-topping releases from artists like Charli XCX and Sabrina Carpenter, 143 just didn't measure up. Katy also tried to make headlines with her trip to space, but the plan backfired. The space stunt quickly turned into a PR nightmare. Critics slammed the launch as out of touch during a time of global financial stress, with many calling it tone-deaf. The theatrical landing, environmental backlash, and the fact that it was led by billionaire Jeff Bezos' fiancée Lauren Sanchez didn't help. What was supposed to be a statement of female empowerment and all-women crew was instead criticized for being more about celebrity spectacle than anything meaningful. The fallout reportedly hit Katy hard. And to make things worse, Orlando allegedly didn't have her back. Behind the scenes, instead of supporting her, he reportedly called the whole mission cringeworthy and embarrassing, which led to major blow-ups between them behind the scenes. And it didn't stop there. Right after the launch fiasco, Katy kicked off her Lifetime tour, hoping to turn things around. But the tour struggled to sell tickets, and her performances were torn apart by critics for being stiff, low energy, and awkward. The ruthless dance clips from the tour circulating on the social media turned Katy into a laughingstock. And while Katy Perry was busy on tour in Australia, Orlando Bloom was spotted living it up at Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's lavish wedding in Venice, rubbing shoulders with the likes of Tom Brady, Leonardo DiCaprio, Kim Kardashian, and Sydney Sweeney. Many believe they scored that coveted invite thanks to Katy's close friendship with the power couple not Orlando's. So, for him to show up alone, partying hard, while Katy is grinding on tour, fans weren't having it. Several media outlets reported that to Katy Perry, it seemed like a FU from him to her. In September 2024, Orlando Bloom was caught checking out Kim Kardashian's backside while standing next to Katy Perry. It made headlines. Katy brushed it off when asked about it in an interview, but that must have hurt. The speculation also escalated when a newly single Orlando Bloom was seen interacting with Kim Kardashian during Bezos' wedding festivities. It sent the media into a frenzy. As Orlando is seen diving headfirst into his single era, Katy's been flooding social media with happy pictures and videos. But despite Katy's cheerful Instagram posts, sources say the current state of her relationship and career has her barely holding it together. Now, to be fair, not everything was chaos in their relationship. Katy and Miranda Kerr, Orlando's ex-wife, actually have a surprisingly great relationship. Katy once called Miranda like a sister. Miranda even said, "I love her more than Flynn's dad." They're often seen supporting each other's skincare launches and charity events. As we look through their history, it's only fair to acknowledge the joyful moments they've proudly shared on social media throughout their relationship. However, Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom never set a wedding date after they got engaged on Valentine's Day in 2019, always chalking up the delay to scheduling conflicts or travel plans that sounded more like excuses than real reasons. Sure, they'd break up and make up more times than anyone could count, but this time, it feels final. Those close to the couple say they saw it coming. The differences between Katy and Orlando kept piling up and eventually became too big to ignore. And now, with Katy's career in freefall, many believe it's the end of the road. Some fans are heartbroken, calling it a sad and unfair fall for a pop icon. Others, they say it was a long time coming and honestly, deserved. So what really triggered Katy Perry's downward spiral? Was it her unfulfilling personal relationship? Her slow drift from the persona that made her famous? The messy legal battles splashed across headlines? That out-of-touch space trip? Or was it the final blow, partnering with Dr.Luke despite everything? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to support the channel. See you next time.